Well, I'm Tom Booth along with Jed Castro, or Optimus Prime maybe. And Optimus, what do we have in store for tonight?
Well, Tom, tonight a game of two teams kind of at the bottom of the standings, Evergrid and the O'Hoolahans, but I think they're going to be pretty evenly matched. The O'Hoolahans, a team that is one of the better looking teams as far as their uniforms go, and Evergrid features a man named Brian Marshall, who's guaranteed to put on a show for those of you who are watching at home, so can't wait to see what he has in store.
Well, we'll see how the game transforms tonight on the Dodgeball Game of the Week. Well, Jed, after a quick scramble here, I think we have at least a 5-on-5 contest between Evergrid and O'Hoolahans. You normally can start 6-on-6, but these two teams right now 5-on-5, and they're going to go as is, and I guess that's pretty fair.
That's right. You got Evergrid in the far court. The O'Hoolahans, maybe the best looking team as far as uniforms go in the league. The O'Hoolahans in the near court.
O'Hoolahans with Parthy, Carly, Andrew, Gade, and Clifton Cassidy.
And of course, Carly is the one likes to go by the name Schwam.
Evergrid with Brian Marshall, Mike Hefner, Ryan Norwood, Mike Fields, and Curtis Dane in the far court.
And we talked to Brian Marshall before the game, and folks, get ready for a show. Brian Marshall guaranteed us. He says he's going to put on a show today, Tom, and I'm anxious to see it. Well,
he mentioned last year he ran a what you call suicide mission, which is kind of running along the attack line, throwing all the balls you got. But he'll have to work on his showmanship to kind of get up to the likes of people like Abdul.
Well, you know, I mean, Abdul is in the Hall of Fame of showmanship. There's no question about that. And, you know, he's really raised the level of his game to a new level, a level we haven't seen in the Blacksburg Parks and Rec League. But Brian Marshall saw him warm up before the game. You know, he's got a good arm on him. Seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he's got a lot of guts. That's what you need.
Gotta like that. Well, for the O'Hoolahans, Parthy is out. And for Evergrid, Mike Hefner is done for in this first game. It's seven games, 7 minutes apiece. Not a best of 7. You're just trying to win as many games as you can.
Nice strong throw by Andrew Herbert there. But Curtis Dane is fleet of foot.
These two teams kind of not the two best teams in the league. They're kind of down near the bottom of the standings, but every time we've seen them, very competitive teams, a lot of heart.
And how many times do we have to say it, Tom, when these two teams get together, teams like this, you know, just throw the records out the window, because it's going to be a battle out there.
Playing for pride here, playing for some standings position, you never know.
Playing for fun. It's all about fun. It's about getting on TV, having your friends see you on WTOB.
Yeah.
Calling up your long-distance cousin and watching him on the internet if you're in Germany or something like that.
Wasting a good hour at work watching it on the internet.
I wouldn't call it wasting, Tom.
That's true.
I mean, for a lot of people, what they do, this might be the most productive part of their day.
Probably. I know for you it would be.
And if you're watching at home or at work, you know, and you're supposed to be doing work, you know, you tell your boss, don't hide it. Tell your boss, yeah, I'm not doing work. Look what I'm doing. I'm watching the Dodgeball Game of the Week on WTOB and Blacksburg.gov. You know, maybe your boss wants to watch it. He's a person too. He bleeds. He cries. He's got emotion.
He loves dodgeball.
Exactly. Who doesn't?
And Andrew Herbert will sit down.
As will Clifton Cassidy. Somehow we missed that. And Will Schwam.
Gade's a little incredulous that she's the only one standing.
Did you say Craigslist?
Incredulous.
Oh, because Craigslist has a lot of good stuff on it.
4-on-1 here.
Dodgeballs on Craigslist. I didn't look that up.
Wikipedia.
If you guys are online right now, you know, open up a new tab, keep this game going. Look up Craigslist on dodgeballs. You know, go to Craigslist, Blacksburg Craigslist, or if you're in another town, see if they sell dodgeballs. Oh, Gade.
Well, Gade will
Gade's done for.
Sit down. Yep, she's sitting down. She's thirsty, and she loses game 1, and
she didn't lose
the
game
whole
1.
team.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's her fault.
Yeah, the Evergrid will take game 1 of the O'Hoolahans.
The Evergrid.
The Evergrid. And you're watching the Dodgeball Game of the Week
on WTOB.
Well, we're getting ready for game 2 here. The balls are lined up. You get 6 balls, 6 people usually.
5-on-5 action right now, Tom. The O'Hoolahans have switched sides. They are now on the far court. And
well, one correction, 6-on-5. The O'Hoolahans had half pint show up.
Well, then maybe it's 5.5 then. She is a half pint.
Right, that's true.
So, you know, and looks like maybe she got a haircut.
I like it. It forms her face very nicely.
It is very nice. It's a very sharp look. Maybe you should check it out. But of course, you know, now they're down to 4.5 because Schwam quickly takes a seat.
Disco Dave Geiger has shown up for O'Houlihan's, but he'll have to sit out here as we have game 2 already underway. Evergrid is up 1-0.
When you have a guy by the name of Disco Dave, you need him to show up for every game. Now they're going to have to go 2 games without him. Disappointing.
Well, the man's an instant party, obviously by his nickname.
No question. And you know, they'd be partying if they'd had him, because maybe he'd have won. But Andrew Herbert's going to take one off the chest. He'll sit down, as long with Gage. He's already on the bench. I got to figure out how to say her last name. Kim Swad.
Yeah, that might take a little while.
I'm going to try it. I mean, that's
but I'll tell you what, Mike Fields has been a one-man wrecking crew. He caught a ball, then he just knocked Parthy out with a line drive.
And his, who is that? That's Clifton Cassidy.
With 2 C's.
That's right.
Clifton and Cassidy.
Right, you spelled his name wrong before the game.
I spelled it with a K, I did.
That's all right. Clifton Cassidy's got the, thing about the American English language.
He kind of waved at the opponent, Brian Marshall. I'm not sure what that meant.
Brian Marshall, and this is the guy who told us he was going to put on a show. And so far, his team is winning 1-0, but haven't really seen that show yet. But
you saw him at the tack line. He was cocked and ready to throw.
Look at his face. He's very intense there. It's like, he wants to back up the smack that he talked before the game.
Yeah. Well, he can talk to smack because they're up 5-1 right now.
Oh, we've seen guys come back from 1-5 deficits before. We'll see what Clifton Cassidy has in his arsenal.
It's possible. We haven't seen Clifton yet this year.
Oh,
he wasn't paying attention. He did.
He was paying attention. He was trying to get another ball. Maybe a little bit too greedy. He had 2 balls, and maybe that wasn't enough for Clifton.
He took his eyes off Curtis Dane for a split second, and that's all she wrote in game 2. And Evergrid will take a 2-0 advantage over the O'Houlihan's in the dodgeball game of the week.
On WTOB.